branding is NASUM. It's a weed burner rated at 2000 watts or 2 kilowatts, and you can see there's a handle there which goes into the main unit, and you've got 3 different heads, a flat one, a chisel shaped, and a big one. This is better than having chemicals, because you don't want those chemicals to go into the ground and then into the fruit trees and anything else that you got growing in the garden. Probably better than the gas butane weed killer. So this is electric powered. Looks like you can also start your barbecue with this. Looks like it sets the weeds on fire, and it looks like you can do some heat shrinking on large cables. There's a warning sign, there's electricity, don't use in the rain, make sure you unplug it when you're not using it, and it's hot. You've got 2 different heat settings. You've got 60 degrees, which is basically for cooling off, and then you've got 650 degrees, which is setting number 2. It weighs 900 grams and it runs on 230 volts. The colour is orange. Comes with an instruction manual, including instructions on what to do in the cool down process. We've got this section which contains all the ends. This one is obviously the barbecue one because it's got these air holes here. This one was the heat shrinking one, and then you've got this wide area one. So what you would do is you've got this end here which has some kind of guard on there, and then there's another guard on the inside. You would just put this end on here and it stays on. It actually clips into position, but it will only clip in this position, so where there's a dimple there and there's a dimple there. The cable is quite small, probably about 2 meters, which means you need to use this with an extension cord. If you do use an extension cord, you'll have to unwind it completely, otherwise you'll cause some kind of magnetic field which will increase the voltage and currents and heat. We have a on-off switch here, so that's in the off position, that's in position 1 which is the 60 degrees, and then position 2 which is the 650 degrees. We've got the 2 different temperatures written here. It runs on 50 Hz, so it's only for the UK and Europe, and obviously you don't want to touch this when it's hot. There's a handle here which will go in on this side, and we can see it's a twist fit, so you'd have to line this up. We actually have unlock and unlock positions and a little arrow on this bit here, so put it in the unlock position, it's a tight fit, and then we twist it across. You have to push it in all the way for it to fit in. So now that's in position. We have a strain relief here, but you also want to use this here, clip that into position so you don't damage this cord. We have a hole in the handle for hanging this tool up. It does say do not use the device on or near very dry spots to avoid fire. Don't leave it switched on. Never look into the hot air nozzle because you'll burn your face. Caution is advised when using long extension cables. Before you plug it in, make sure that it's set to switch position 0 and keep the mains cable away from the mouth opening. It does say when using the device as a weed killer, you must use the extension tube and handle. So I think the extension tube is the nozzle, and obviously the handle is attached. It takes 45 seconds to warm up, and to kill the weeds you've got to hold this about 5 seconds above the weeds. During the 5 seconds the cell structures will be destroyed, and then the weed will die within a few days. When switching off, you need to keep it in switch position 1, which is the 60 degrees, for at least 1 minute. This will allow most of the heat to escape, so that's important, because if you don't, that hot air will stay inside, and without airflow it'll start melting the plastic, which is not what you want to do. You need to keep the ventilation slots clear, because this is what the airflow that's required. And then we got information about the warranty. The airflow is 500 litres per minute, which is probably enough. Just going to check that your power consumption's indoors. In switch position 0 we've got 0 watts. In switch position 1, which is the 60 degrees, it consumes about 215 to 220 watts. It's settling around 216 watts currently. And then in switch position 2, you get to slightly above 2 kilowatt hours. I'll switch this off now, and it sounds like a hairdryer. That's not been on long enough for it to require a long cooling down period, but normally what you would do is switch into switch position 1 for about a minute, and that will be enough to let most of the heat escape. Obviously you're not supposed to use this indoors like I've just done. The next step is to test this out. One final thing, there's a little stand here so you can rest it on the ground like that if you wanted to.